On today's video we look at an interesting little radio from KSUN. Well, I think it's KSUN because I can't see any mention of this on their website. It may well be from another manufacturer who's simply stolen the name. However, this is a really funky, interesting looking little radio, I think you'll probably agree, and it certainly is very well made. A close examination of the radio shows us here the removable battery pack as I take it off the back there, which proudly claims to be 4,000 milliamp hours at 3.7 volts. I'd like to perhaps test that because I'm not so sure, and certainly we won't be expecting a full 6 watts power output of this device as it states. As you can see, like I said, nicely made, and with a option there clearly for a plug-in charge, which I couldn't see anywhere on the website, but a few nice features with this one. It has the standard programming port there, which is supported by your standard Bafang cable, and the other nice thing here is charging is via USB Type-C, a lead of which is included in the box, but I'm sure you've got one of those leads kicking around anyway, as it's now seems to be the standard. It has a brushed knob on the top. It proudly claims in the literature for this radio. It's the only piece of metal, that and the backing plate, that I could find on it. The rest of the radio is made out of polycarbonate. Now you'll see that it's got a really nice LED display hidden behind the speaker grill there, just above the speaker and the microphone. And this really is quite clear, even in broad daylight. This actually is very clear and easy to read. It comes pre-programmed with 20 channels, and it has a capacity of 80 different channels there, which you can have split frequencies on as well. I'll show you a little bit of that later on, because the supplier will actually send you programming software. It comes with, as you can see here, the earpiece mic, a standard wall wart, again I'm not sure you'd bother using those, and your death adapter, and a springy belt clip which just slots in, as seems to be quite a popular way of doing this now with more modern sets, just slots in the top of the radio. But I don't see why you would compromise such a nice little shirt pocket radio with a belt clip, as you can easily put it in your pocket. So I picked this up from AliExpress here in the UK. It didn't take very long to come at all. I was very, very pleased, and the website goes through all of the features and all of the accessories that you get with this, so you can take a look at that if you are interested in purchasing one of these radios. But please keep watching, because it is a good little radio, and I was quite quietly surprised, and it picks up some very nice reviews there. It comes supplied with a leaflet, which I'll quickly whiz through here, because I know I'm going to probably lose this, so I filmed it for more than that than anything, because I'll probably misplace it. But it does offer quite a few features, as you can see here, with all the CTCSS and DCS and scan functions and whatnot, and I'm not sure why they blacked out the TX side of that listing there. Anyway, the battery comes about half full from the factory, obviously to protect it, and it didn't take too long to charge. It doesn't charge at a phenomenally quick rate compared to some other radios that I've got, some other smaller radios. I guess that protects the battery though. This one was charging at just 0.3 of an amp, but I've seen that go as high as 2.4 amps with the Zastone, for instance. It didn't take that long to charge, and you can also use the radio while it's actually charging. It stops charging whilst you transmit, but it reverts back to charging when you stop transmitting. Some radios like the Zastone won't actually work whilst they're charging, so I thought that I would point this out because it may be something people might want to do on the go to charge the battery in a backpack. The menu function can be accessed by holding down the side button, the top side button there, and you can get into all of those features that I showed on that list there. Now, the first thing that people will obviously want to do is to program it onto the correct frequencies, because, like I said, this really isn't on any frequencies in this country anyway that anyone should be using. In fact, it was on the LPD 433 frequencies, which is partly which is partly legal here, but partly not. Some of the other channels it certainly wasn't. So as you can see there, I've just changed the LED settings to the high setting, which is much brighter there. As you can see, I left it on the mid setting. I found that to be high, bright enough, and it was certainly fine out in daylight, as we'll see later on the field test. The other thing that you can set there is the squelch. It's not set at S9 on this function. It's actually set by default at position 4. I moved this down to position 1 because I knew we were taking this unit out and testing it out on site. However, I did manage to get the software from the supplier, and I managed to program the radio a little bit later on, so I didn't have to worry about this too much. And we can see here that the frequencies it comes supplied with and why you must really change them. I mean, some of these are sort of legal to go on the LPD ones, but there probably is too much power produced by this to legally be allowed to be used on LPD 433. And then the other ones jump right out of the LPD band and into the ham band and above. So, yes, certainly some of these are to be avoided, and so if you can, please order this radio with a programming cable and program it suitably, either for your license conditions if you're a ham, or for PMR 446 or FRS if you're in other countries and you want to operate license free. As I said, the software comes, I'm not going to go through that too much other than just to show you here. It comes in English, it comes in Chinese, change it over to English, and you can program in your 80 channels there, and then the generic settings at the top that you see on almost conventional stuff. And I thought I would show the field strength here compared to some other sets just to give you a little idea. And you can see there that the field strength percentage of this distance is at 40 microamps, it says on that, and the T1 is actually half of this in terms of field strength, and the Retivis RB615 is about the same. And in physical size terms and dimensions, you can see here they're all pretty much pocket radios and are of the same size. So let's head out onto site then. We'll see if we can see if Mick is around, and we'll use the SDR to make some recordings.
Right, it's a tad windy and a bit chilly today, so we've come out to the first location, which is 3 miles away from me and roughly 3 miles away from Mick as well. So what I'm going to do is set up the SDR to do a bit of recording at this location and see what we pick up. And then we're going to see how Mick copies us on 3 of the radios. So we've got the KSUN M6, I'm going to call it, the T1, which you'll all probably know, is quite an old radio, and then the Mini 9, the little Zastone, because these are all of a similar size and a similar sort of capability. So I think the Mini 9 probably got a bit more power than the other two. But it's okay. Let's see if Mick is around. We're 3 miles, and see how he copies us on each 3. Here we are with the KSUN. You can see the display even in the daylight. It's a little bit windy here, but we're going to try Mick. This is G7LNK testing with the KSUN M6 at location A, approximately 3 miles. I wonder how you copy me there, Mick. We're monitoring here, Mick. I wonder how you copy. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got a nice signal coming through. I forgot what radio it was. You told me it was already. I think it was a KSUN, wasn't it? I think that's right. But yes, you are coming through quite clear to me. G0LDV.
Okay, and you're a really good signal with me as well.
Mick. Really good signal. Okay, we're going to just swap over to another radio. If you could just stand by.
It's quite an old radio, this, but we'll give it a go. This is G7LNK with the Stone Mini 9.
Stone Mini 9 at location A, approximately 3 miles. I wonder how this one sounds to you there, Mick. Go ahead.
Yeah, G0LDV returning. That one is louder. A lot louder than the first radio, Paul. Very good. Nice clear audio as well. No noise on the background, but really clear audio.
An even older radio, this, the T1. We'll try this. This is G7LNK
at location A, approximately 3 miles, with the Baofeng T1. I wonder how this one sounds to you there, Mick. Go ahead.
Yeah, very good. The first radio was the lowest one. Second radio was the highest audio. This one is the second highest, so yes, I'd put them in that order actually. So yes, very good signal on the waterfall as well, so it's working well, Paul.
Okay, Roger D. Are you okay to stand by while we move to another location? Is that okay? Right, I think it's a little bit windier up here as well, so we'll see how this goes. So we're at location B, which is approximately 6 miles away from Mick and myself, where the SDR is recording back at my base station, and we'll do the test from here. Like I say, it's a tad on the windy side, so you have to bear with me if there's a bit of wind noise on the footage. I'll do my best to try and turn away from the wind, but we'll see how it goes. So let's see if Mick is picking us up. Okay, we got the M6, give it a go. This is G7LNK at location B with the KSUN M6. I wonder how you copy me there, Mick.
Yeah, okay, you come up in signal strength and audio quality on that over. Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a bit variable, like I say, yeah, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, okay mate, we'll swap over to one of the other radios, but you sound great on this, really good, nice and clear, really good signal, Rod.
Right, the Zasto Mini 9, this should be pretty decent. We'll just wait for this car to pass and then we'll try. Okay, this is G7LNK at location B, approximately 6 miles with the Zasto
Mini 9. Quite an old radio this though, Mick, but probably packing a bit more punch. I wonder how you copy.
Receiving you, Paul, very good copy. A little bit of white noise in the background, but still fully readable, so yes, good. I like that. I wouldn't complain if I was talking to you all day long with just that little bit of white noise in the background, so good.
Just great. Okay, if you could stand by, we'll try the last one, which is the T1. Roger D.
Okay, this tiny little fella. Okay, this is G7LNK at location B, approximately 6 miles from the Balfang T1. Might be the smallest radio on the grill. How you copy, right?
Yeah, very good copy, Paul. Not quite as bassy as the last radio, but still readable. And the little bit of white noise was just expected anyway on the distance and the frequency we're on. So yes, very good.
Okay, let's try Mick again on this one. Okay, Mick, coming back to you again on the KSUN M6.
On the KSUN M6, and I wonder how this is sounding now, Rog.
Yeah, well actually that sounds very good, Paul. Just a little bit of white noise, but very good. So tone-wise is good to me. I don't like too much bass on some of these radios, but I'm fine with it as it is at the moment. So have these got a separate antenna, or is it a stock antenna, or what, Paul?
These antennas are built in on all of these sets, on all three, apart from, yeah, I think even the Mini 9 is built in. So yeah, they're all built in, Rog. But oh, that's interesting. Okay, mate. Thanks ever so much for that. I'll stop recording now.
Another cracker little radio here from KSUN. Now, I don't know if this is officially from KSUN because I can't seem to see it on their website. So, as often is the case, other brands just literally steal the name of their competitors and put it on their own products. However, it does appear to be really, really well made, but don't be surprised if this turns up with Retevis, Baofeng and all sorts of other names written on it in the future. But the only thing I can mark it down for is the aperture for the microphone seems quite tight on the front grille. So you do have to get your positioning just right on there to get the maximum audio out of it. And it's something that somebody in the comments on AliExpress has also mentioned. But really, I mean, for general use, as long as you remember that, it's absolutely fine. And you've heard on the recordings there, it sounded really, really good. Lots I like about it is it's truly a pocket radio, a really nice bright display on the front. I find the T1 a bit hard to read with my old eyes at sometimes. 80 channel programmable. Also has the option, which I probably didn't go into too much and didn't test, but of the encryption. I say encryption, it's voice inversion, so you can scramble your voice with it. So you can scramble your voice with it as well on all of the channels. Obviously you can program your repeaters into it and that will work as well. It's got full DCS and CTCSS encoding and decoding on all of the channels. It's supposed to have a remarkably long standby time. I haven't tried it, but it's supposed to be very, very good. And as you heard, the received audio is incredibly punchy. I had that about half volume there with Mix, and you can see how loud it was. So it's obviously on the sensitivity side, it's also very, very good as well. Now, in terms of delivery, I don't know if you're aware, but at the moment moment, if you order from China, you will be hit with a VAT. Ever since we left Brexit and we left the EU, they now apply VAT at AliExpress, so there's no way around it. So on more expensive items, this can be a bit expensive. But what I found with this was it actually meant that it came very, very quickly, about 4 to 5 days from China. I couldn't quite believe it. So if paying a couple of quid VAT on a cheap radio has expedited its delivery to me that much, I'm more than happy to pay it. So, but I thought I'd let others know that, because you may not be aware that you will have to pay VAT now when you buy products from AliExpress or Banggood or elsewhere. If you're in the UK, this doesn't apply, of course, elsewhere, unless it strictly does apply, if you know what I mean. But it does with us. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the test of the KSUN M6, I'm going to call it. Keep an eye out for this in other brands, and if you have been, thanks ever so much for watching. Catch us on the next one. Take care.